Hello guys, welcome back to another quick tip tutorial. This time I will talk about speed improvements and some neat tricks how you could speed up your workflow in Maya using marking menus and a lot of new keyboard shortcuts which I like to use a lot and which help me increase the general speed of modeling and working in Maya. So first of all, I want you to see how much space I have in my viewport. There's not a lot of cluttering on the bottom, and there's no shelf menus on the top, which gives me a lot of space to work with. So now you would think probably, where would I start to insert my primitive objects? Usually you would go into the shelf menu on the polygons and choose whichever primitive you like, but there's an easy way just using shortcuts. You could press Shift and the right mouse button, and then you get a marking menu where you could quickly choose which one you want, which primitive object. For instance, I choose now the polycube. You also have the option box next to it, but I just create it over the marking menu. And then your typical buttons, you zoom in, press 5 for shaded view, and then you could have a round, which is really straightforward and working really neat. And then for modeling, you could quickly see what I would do. Probably face mode, and then you can click also Shift and right mouse button for extrude it up, and choose another face. Press G for your last used tool. Press G, and then the extrude menu appears. You can extrude, increase the offset. By pressing Ctrl, you can change the speed by which the offset is changing. And if you want now to insert an edge loop, which you would probably do over the mesh or edit mesh and an insert edge loop, you could just hold Shift and right click, and then you see insert edge loop tool. So you could insert some edge loops if you prefer that. And if you want, you could go into the tool options by hitting Ctrl A, and then you get your channel box and attribute editor, or the toolbox, which if you like to add more edge loops with one click, now 3. And that's a lot of neat speed improvements. You could also, if you want now to select some loops which you've created but you don't like them anymore, you can just select this one and this one with the Shift key and this one. And now if you want to remove the whole edge loop, you just press Ctrl, right click, and then you go into the edge loop utilities and to edge loop and delete, and then it removes them with one click. If you want more, you can just select one and press G again for your last command, and it's removed again. And now if you want, probably you want to smooth out this edge by beveling it, we would normally go into the mesh menu and go down here to bevel, but you could also just press Shift, right mouse key, and go to bevel edge, and then it's beveled. Under the channel box you get your last used command, and then you can change the offset by clicking the Control key and the middle mouse button, and then you can scroll and change the offset of your bevel. You could also increase the segments, and it's pretty easy and convenient to use. And now if you know where your menus are located, you can just double click on the edge to select the edge loop, and just in one movement press Shift and go to the right, and it's beveled. It's a bevel mode then, and you can, by doing it often, you get a hang of it, and it's working really fast and it's really convenient because you don't have to look up menus for your commands which you want to use. And now I finished my cube, and now I want to add a sphere. Shift, right mouse button, and polysphere. So there it goes, which is in here now. The same goes for this one. If I want to remove some edge loops, I can click on some which I don't like, and then I just go into the, by clicking Control button and right mouse key, edge loop utilities, and edge loop and delete, which is really nice. So now we come to the marking menus, which I created some custom menus for my day-to-day modeling. So for instance, this remove edge loop command, which is hidden beneath 2 layers of menus, I just created a hotkey by if I click Y and left click, a marking menu appears, and where I created some commands which I like to use very often, which is the to edge loop and delete tool, and it's just, I could now hold Y and go up, and then the command is run. You see, it's pretty fast and really convenient. And then I've got some more. I have duplicate special. If you want now to create more instances of that, you just go duplicate special, translate, and let's say scale by 0.5 in every direction 15 times, and duplicate special, and then you see they are duplicated and scale downwards. And if you would like to create it, if you would like to use a duplicate tool, you would probably go into edit and duplicate special and then open the menu box, which is really a faster way by just clicking Y and going to the left. The same is, which I also use a lot, is clear history and center my pivot for my objects, and which was the other one, and freeze transformation for my modeled objects. So if I now, for instance, I take the box, and on the right you can see there's a lot of history going on, and if you want to remove that, you would go to edit, I think, delete by type, and then history. But I just created the marking menu by clicking Y and upwards, and if you do it in one motion, it's just Y and like flicking upwards. And if you want to freeze the transformations, let's for instance say I rotated it a bit and I want to remove the transformations I did on that, just press Y and go to the bottom. In one motion it's just removed. Same goes over here, one motion, and you can see it's all reset to 0 and 1 for the scale. So now I will show you how to create this custom marking menu, and I can only recommend it to you because it's really a speed improvement, and it makes really fun to modeling. And if you have your own shortcuts and you have a bigger screen size to work with, instead of, if I quickly reset my UI, show all UI, it would be really cluttered. It would look like this. And if you want to work in full screen, you have to press Control and spacebar to enter this mode, and then you are probably all set up. But it's really nicer to work in a full screen mode, and you have a bigger screen to work. You could go close on your objects, and it just makes more fun. So now I show you how to create your marking menus. You first go into settings and marking menu editor, and here's mine. I first had three options in it: clear, set, and freeze. But if I want to create my own marking menu, you could go just to create, and here you could see you have like grayed out spots where you could place your commands. I just call it now quick menu. And now if you want to add objects in here, you have to middle mouse drag them in here, or create a script and drag and drop that in here. So first of all, I want to show all my UI elements. And now for instance, if I go to polygons and you want to create a torus with your custom marking menu, you middle mouse click on it and drag it, and then you can place it wherever you like, let's say at the top. Now you can see it's in here, and then you can choose, if you want to choose a menu from like clear history, you would go, first of all, you would open your script editor, and you can see I also already have some commands in here. But let's say if I clear that and I now go to select an object just to see what the command is called, delete by type history. Now it's cleared, but I didn't. To see a command, you have to echo all commands, and that now shows everything which is going on behind the scenes in Maya. So let's try that again. Edit, delete by type history. Now you get the command which is delete history and a semicolon. And now you can select that and also drag that wherever you like. It's now placed here. You could edit the menu item and then you can see your commands in here. You can name that history, save and close, and now it's called history. And now if I would like to select the edge loop and delete, it's this command. I can drag it in here. Why did it work now? There you go. Loop, delete. And that's the way how you create your marking menu. You can now click to test, use the left mouse button, and then there you go. There is your marking menu which you just created. Menu name, somehow remove that. Let's say quick menu and save it. Then you can close it. And now you see your marking menu in here. Okay, and to assign a shortcut to it, or a keyboard shortcut, you would go into settings and hotkey editor. And then on the left you have to search for user marking menus, and it's still not in here, your marking menu, because I think you first have to apply your settings and change this use marking menu in, and then you have to use it for hotkey editor. Apply settings. Now you can see it's accessible in the hotkey editor. Then you go back to settings and hotkey editor, and you go back at the bottom to user marking menus, and now it's appearing here. And now if you want to assign a keyboard shortcut for it, you can just use, let's say, which is not used, L probably. Let's log for something. Okay, I just take the U now because I won't need that. Okay, now it's set up for me. I can save that and close and close. Okay, to test that, you select your object, press U, and or just create a polygon torus, and voila, it works. So it's pretty convenient and it's really easy to set up, and it really improves your modeling speeds and workflows. And I just can recommend to work in expert mode, which is pressing left control and spacebar to access that, and or you can customize your default viewport by just going into the UI elements, which you will get under display UI elements, and then you can turn off some parameters like the toolbox, the help line, command line, range. This is the way probably I work, which is the best option for me, because on the left I have my outliner where all my objects are placed, and on the right I have the attribute and channel box and the toolbox. So if I now create a new scene and quickly want to create a, let's say a tire, for instance, shift left right mouse button and cylinder. Now I press E for rotation, and if I press J, it's snapping to my rotation, and on the right in the channel box you can see it's jumping in 15 units, so 90 degrees. right. Oh, there you go. Okay, now I want to create a nice thickness for the tire. I select all the objects, press Shift, right click, extrude face, go into scaling mode and scale it in the, which one is it? In the Y. And then I repeat my last command by pressing G, going to scale, scale it again, go a little bit inwards, something like this, repeat the last command. And if you get used to it, it's really a fast way to model and it really is fun. So now I delete that, and now I want to combine the edges, so I select this edge loop by double clicking on the edge and double clicking again. So now you would probably use the bridge command, which you will find by pressing Shift, right mouse button, and at the bottom bridge. I don't know why this happens. I think it's a bug in Maya. It always bridges not the adjacent edges. It somehow rotates it somehow. I don't know why. So you just go undo, and for a workaround you just select both edge loops, but then you deselect two edges from the opposing sides, and then you just do the same bridge, and now it's working. And for the sole, double click on it to select the border edge, Shift and right mouse button and fill hole, and then you quickly have a tube. Now for beveling, double click and bevel. As you can see, it was pretty fast now because I just did the flick motion, add some segments, and what could we do now? We could add an edge loop in here. No, it's 3, it's no problem. We could make this a bit bigger. Something like this. And now if you want to create the rims for that, you would just show the local rotation axis for this object to snap in the center of this one. So I have it in my hotkey editor, show local rotation axes, and now I want to create, for instance, let's say a cylinder. I Shift, use a cylinder, snap it in here, which is already snapped because it's in the origin of the scene. I reduce my subdivisions, let's say to 5, and then I scale my whole object, move it up. It's more or less like now a bicycle rim, but just for this tutorial it should suffice. So now I want to rotate it around this spot, on this pivot. I first of all freeze my transformations, and now I would Ctrl D for duplicate and rotate it a bit. And now if you don't press anything else besides Shift and D, it takes into consideration your translation. So by pressing Shift D, it repeats that. Okay, it's not a superb fit now because I didn't calculate the degrees, but you can see it's working pretty nice and fast. It's not a perfect model, but you get the idea of how this could help. If you now want to insert an edge loop for here, you could select the edge ring and then Shift, right mouse button and connect components to add a loop inside of the edges. Bevel this one again, change the offset, select the I can't even talk so fast how it's going, and extrude that, add some thickness and some offset to it. So it's a really fast way. So I hope you did learn some new shortcuts, and I hope you will make use of your custom marking menus because it really improves speeds of your modeling and it's really convenient. I can only say that it's really helpful. Thank you guys for watching, and be sure to check out my other tutorials which are on my website or on my Vimeo channel. And if you have any suggestions for new tutorials, please give me some ideas. I can try to create some for you and for the rest of the 3D community. Thank you guys. Bye.